Hey, Jarek here, and this is the Woozi. This is one of my favorite kinds of blasters. A blaster made to just dump out darts in under a second. The high fire rate blasters. I love anything that's high fire rate. For some reason, it just tickles me. Getting rid of this entire magazine in under a second is just fun. Before I ramble anymore, let me show you my first reaction to what this does, just taking it out of the box. Go full auto. That's why you're getting this. I asked for the highest rate of fire possible. Let's just see one mag dump. There's a 3-round burst option. I didn't even know that. It's semi 3-round burst, full auto. That's sick. Let's just try to mag dump it. Yeah, so that was a surprise to me. I did not realize that this selector switch here was semi 3-round burst, full auto. That's so cool. I love burst fire just for a practicality standpoint, especially with something with a rate of fire this high. You're not really controlling the rate of fire that much. So if you want a reliable burst, having a dedicated burst fire thing that is very easy to reach if you're right-handed, pretty cool. If you're left-handed, you're a little screwed that you're just gonna have to use your other hand. Okay, so huge thanks goes to Frontline Foam for sending this blaster my way to make a video of. And the main reason they did that is because this is a Chinese clone of the Woozi. You can tell looking at them side by side that they're more or less the same design. This was actually one of the first things I got when I got back into the hobby like 4 years or so ago. And for a cheap thing you can buy off Amazon, it's honestly not terrible, but it's lacking a lot that the Woozi has. For starters, mag compatibility. This uses Talon mags, this does not. That is a huge downside. And the obvious thing is just this performance is not as good as a hobby brand blaster. This thing has a decent rate of fire for being a cheap thing you can find on Amazon, but like, it's not matching what this does, nor is it select fire. This is just always full auto. It doesn't have 3-round burst. Yeah, I figured I might as well compare it to the Chinese clone a little bit, but there's not really much more to say. It's just, this is a simplified version of this at a fraction of the cost without any of the extra stuff and much worse performance. Cool for a little toy, but like, I don't know, more like a stepping stone to get the actual thing. Now, when you get this on Frontline Foam, you have two different options. You can either get it single stage or double stage. Now, they claim, I don't know if you can hear that, my roommate is playing a game and freaking out. They claim that single stage, 130 FPS, dual stage, 160 FPS. I chronoed this, and I was getting pretty consistently about 160 with Worker Gen 3s. And I decided to chrono also with bamboo darts because I like higher FPS. It makes my brain tickle even though I'm never going to use these darts in any actual game. And yeah, I was getting about a 10 FPS boost to about 170-ish. You also have the option of if you want to be able to attach a stock or a sling mount. Now, I actually did not realize that. They just kind of said, hey, do you want one? We can make one of your colors. It would be a lot faster if you just got the blue and orange one. We already got one. We can send it to you right away. And I was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. I'm not gonna be picky. And this is the one that has the stock attachment. I would prefer the sling attachment, but I'm probably not taking this to any game anyway, so I don't think it really matters too much. I also would prefer, like, you know, my usual black and red, but also, again, I am not going to complain. I have been having so much fun with this with just a little bit of time I've been testing it. Now, one of the huge advantages of the Woozi is that it uses Talon magazines, which in theory means you can use out of darts Coda mags, which do lock in place and work quite well until you go to shoot it, then it doesn't really feed. So for some reason, it doesn't like Coda mags. Same thing can be said for the Tachi mags, which don't even really lock in place because this little bit gets in the way. So unfortunately, your extended mags don't work, and that's really unfortunate because this is the exact kind of blaster you'd want more ammo for. That said, in my experience, it works with anything worker, so can I really complain that much? The answer is no, but I am a little bit disappointed because just imagine a 29 round magazine. That'd be fun to dump all that out, but we can't have everything we want, I guess. As I already stated, this thing is not exactly left-handed friendly. The mag release is also super not left-handed friendly. That's very uncomfortable if you are left-handed. If you're right-handed though, that's easy. Select switch is right where it needs to be. So unless you happen to be left-handed because you're a witch, this thing will be very comfortable for you. I don't have any problems with lefties, and someone's gonna take that joke out of context. Something that is actually kind of hard to see on camera because I have so many lights on it, but there is a light in here, so when the battery is plugged in, you can tell that it is plugged in. It tells you. It reminds you to unplug your battery when you are done. Anyway, high fire rate flywheeler, pretty simple in idea. Let's just shoot it. I know this thing is high fire rate, and that's the fun part about it, but it is select fire, so I really want to see how accurate this is. These are heavy Worker Gen 3 darts. Let's put a semi-auto and just see how accurate this thing is. That's about 20-ish feet away, and those targets are 3-4 inches wide. Oh, I got one shot left. I did not aim at all for that last one. Yeah, it's actually pretty accurate. Once I figured out where the sights were pointing, I could just kind of walk down the line of the sights. Occasionally I'd miss one barely off the side or something, but that was more user error than anything else. This thing shoots pretty straight. Let's try it with 3-round burst, since it does have burst. And in theory, that should be pretty useful for games. See how it goes. I gotta remember, I need to aim a little bit higher than where the sights are. Once I adjusted for it, yeah, this thing, again, a lot more accurate than I thought it was going to be. 3-round burst has a wild feeling when you're shooting it, by the way. It almost has like that hyper burst feeling, like an AN-94. It actually does push the blaster back a little bit, not like a recoil, like a gun recoil, but like a soft push, because it's just 3 darts at once flying out of it. It's fun. It's an amusing experience. I got one more thing I want to try. Now there is one magazine I didn't try, and that is the 18-round Talon mags, the official worker ones. In theory, these should work because they're Talons, and they do lock in fine, but we saw how that was with the out of darts magazines. But I mean, 18 is a lot different than 25 or 29, but we're really gonna try it and just try to do a full auto mag dump, and let's see. Yeah, no, it works perfectly fine. I don't know if you can see in the footage, but like, it actually does push the blaster back a little bit. And I'm also shooting left-handed, so I'm not shooting accurately in any way, but what more do you want me to say? This thing is so much fun. Yeah, if you can't tell, I really like this blaster. I already had a blaster that was pretty similar to this, and that is the Lepus. This is like a simplified version of this, kind of in a way. They do the same thing. High fire rate, they dump magazines out very fast. But this one only costs about $100, so this is like the cheaper version of the Woozi. And Frontline Foam has both of these, so if you're not wanting to spend a bunch of money, but you want the experience of just dumping magazines out, this is a valid way to go. If you want something more advanced, you want burst fire or something that's just kind of in general the next step up, and you have money, then the Woozi is also a good way to go. And you can tell for this one is, I think, roughly around the same rate of fire. Let me just go ahead and... Yeah, you can just tell by... Why am I doing that? Hold on, let me just put a clip of me emptying a mag out. So yeah, it's fun. Both of these are fun, very similar experiences, but this one has better performance, and in my experience, this one's a little more picky with darts. Works great on bamboo darts, mostly works great on worker darts, but occasionally it can have a little bit of a hang up, but nothing serious. In general, I love both these things. I would highly recommend both these things. This one especially might be one of my new favorites. I don't know where I'm gonna put it. I'm getting so many blasters that I wanna put on my wall behind me, but I only have so much space. As you can tell, I don't have a whole lot of space for all of these blasters. I gotta figure something out. My point by showing you both of these blasters is that you just don't really have too much reason to get this one. Well, yes, it's a bit cheaper. If you're trying to save money, just get the Lepus instead. If you're really determined to get something like this, I would highly recommend getting the Woozi instead, because this thing performs just so much better. That should be it. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to see more of my stuff, I do have 2 channels. This is my video game channel. I make reviews for first-person shooters and other kind of content like that. I'm not really a Let's Player, although I do stream there too. Subscribe by clicking that. If you want more Nerf stuff, here is a full playlist of just videos just like this one. Or subscribe by clicking here. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next video.